Hi, in today's class, we are going to discuss about one of the principles that is polymorphism. And the polymorphism is nothing but, so we will understand the definition first and we will discuss what is a polymorphism all about. So polymorphism, the name itself, it is telling polymorphism. So one interface will have the many implementation that is called polymorphism. So how we can achieve the polymorphism in Java, that we will discuss. So basically we can achieve polymorphism in two different ways. One is a method overloading and another one is method overriding. Here a couple of scenarios we have. Basically we have two different types of polymorphisms. One is compile time polymorphism and another one is runtime polymorphism, that we can discuss like what is the runtime polymorphism and what is compile time polymorphism. Right, we will go back to the practical scenarios and we will try to execute and we'll try to see how the polymorphism can be achieved using the Java. Right, so I'm going back to the project. Let me create a new project for this demo, and where I have to create a new package for this polymorphism scenario. So let me create a new class. Right. Create a new package, a new project. It is for polymorphism demo. Right. Once we done with this, go back to the src, right click, new class demo. This should be under com.demo package. Right, so we have created the class. So what we have to understand here, so what is polymorphism? So one interface will have the many implementation. The interface, that word, it is not Java interface I'm talking about here. I am trying to say there is one function, that function having the multiple implementations. So one function will have the multiple implementations. How we can achieve that? By using the method overloading, and method overriding. So here what we will cover in this today's class, we will try to cover what is method overloading, how method overloading can be achieved. That is what we are going to cover. First, we will try to understand what is method overloading. So we aware of what is method. Method is set of set of statements together is called method, that we defined earlier. So what we will try to understand is, here we will try to see what method overloading is called. So why we are telling this method overloading? So here let me define the definition first. So method overloading can be achieved within the class. Method overloading can be achieved within the class. Okay, method overloading can be achieved within the class. And what method overloading is called? We will have the two or more than two methods, two or more than two methods, which is having the same method name and different implementations. And as we discussed in earlier class, okay, so as we discussed in previous class, we know we are passing the some parameters. Okay, so we are passing some parameters. So those parameters we use it to call as the inline parameters. So that parameter should be different. Okay, we will have the different inline parameter, right? So this is the thing. So this is called method overloading. So we defined the definition and we will try to execute and we will see how to implement this scenario. So let me repeat the definition one more time. So we will have the two or more than two methods which is having the same method name and different implementations and different inline parameters. That is called method overloading. So first point number one, what we discussed, this can be achieved within the class. So demo is the class. Now public void, let me take search. Okay, so here I'm getting system.out.println search the list of items present with brand XYZ. Okay, so let me write one more method which is same name. First one, public void search. Okay, so here what I'm doing, system.out.println search list of items present with in the price. Okay, point number one we covered. So we have the same method name, that method name that we have written, search and search, and implementation different. Here whatever the statements that you are writing, that is different. And the third point what we discussed, parameters is different. Here we are passing the string brand. Here we are passing the int price. Right. So now what I'm trying to show you is, I wanted to show you some real-time example when method overloading can be achieved. Right? I will go to the Flipkart site and I will click here. Here, if you see, I'm going with the mobile. I wanted to filter out the specific mobiles. Here, what I'm doing, I'm applying the 2 GB RAM. It is giving me the list of items, which is having the 2 GB RAM. Okay, and let me search with brand. So what is happening basically, what I'm trying to perform here, I'm trying to perform the search operation. I'm trying to perform the search operations. I wanted to filter out, but input that I'm giving is different. First time I'm going with RAM and second time I'm going with brand. Okay, I cannot write same method which can be operating and handle this scenario. So in this case, what we have to do, we have to write the same functionality, same method name with different parameters. So this is the best example for method overloading. Let me repeat one more time. When we wanted to do some specific functionality that is having the same method name and different parameters and different implementations, that is called method overloading. Now my question is, okay, we have created two different methods. If I create the object for this class, you created the class. And if I call the search method, which one will be called? Okay, so that can be decided during the compilation time. So what is compilation time? Before running this application, you can able to justify which method can be called. Because if you wanted to call the first search method, here it is looking for a string parameter. If you see second method search, it is looking for the integer. So what we are trying to pass here is the brand name, that is Puma, that you are passing, right? When I run this application, you can see what will going to happen. It will execute the first method. So this is called method overloading. So let me give you the let me describe the real-time scenario one more time. The requirement is when you have same functionality and that can be performed in different ways by changing the input parameter, and implementation will be different. What implementation it will call? As of now, we have hard coded. In future, we will get the data from the backend and we will display it to front end side. So here is the implementation, line number 8 and line number 12. We assume these are the implementations. So what it is doing, it is filtering the list of mobiles based upon the brand when we select the brand. It is filtering the mobiles based upon the RAM when we selecting the RAM. So what we have understood here is you can perform this specific operation in a different ways, but that operation is called search. You're just changing the parameters and you are just changing the implementation of the specific method. And how this can be executed? If I wanted to filter out by brand, you have to pass the parameter brand. If I wanted to get list of items based upon the price, you have to pass the price. That example you can see from front-end application. Here you are performing the search operation and the search can be performed based upon the parameter that will decide which method has to be called. Now my second question is, if I have a multiple parameters, can we achieve the method overloading? Yes, you can achieve. So no matter how many parameters that you are passing, see here int price. That means you are filtering out with 2 parameters. Here you are filtering with 2 parameters. One is 4 GB RAM and brand. So here you can pass multiple values, multiple parameters. It will give the values which it is displaying is purely different. So based upon the search function, based upon the parameters that I have passed, this is giving the appropriate values, right? So this is how the method overloading will works. So what will be decided? The deciding factor would be what parameters that you are passing, that will decide which method has to be called. But functionality is same, search, and implementation is different, and inline parameters is different. And one more thing, here it is returning the int, suppose 0, and here string 1. So what I'm trying to show you is, can we have the different return type for the same functionality? Yes, of course, we can have the different. Somebody may be giving some result and some method is giving the some returns. So here, couple of things that we have to claim. One thing is method names are same, inline parameters are different, implementation is different, return type is different. Return type, you can select whatever return type that you want it, right? This is what method overloading is called, and this can be done during the compilation. During the compilation, why I'm telling. So you can able to tell me that which method can be executed before running, because the parameters which you are passing will be decided which method has to be executed, right? So if you understand the behavior after running the application, then that is a runtime polymorphism. You can observe this behavior during the compile time, hence it is called compile time polymorphism.